Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott, I'm the Emperor of Stomaria, and today I want to talk about Stomarian citizenship. So when the Empire of Stomaria was first founded, we didn't actually allow people from outside of the imperial family to become citizens of Stomaria. And this was a very conscious decision because at the time, while we did have a good idea of what we wanted to do in terms of promoting certain values and achieving certain objectives, they weren't as fleshed out as they could be. And so even though we were attracting quite sizable amounts of interest and support for what we did stand for, we were uncomfortable with the idea of getting people involved before we could confidently say that this is what we were looking to do, this is what we're striving to achieve. And so we gave ourselves a full year from the foundation date to our 1-year anniversary to sort all that out. And on our 1-year anniversary in June 2020, we allowed people, our supporters, to become citizens of Stomaria. And even though we initially didn't go through Patreon, we had an informal sort of interview process where I would have a video call or a meeting with particular individuals that have stood out amongst our supporters who were interested in becoming citizens. So it'd be an interview process and we do it that way. Whereas now, obviously, you can simply sign up as a citizen through our Patreon campaign. The reason being that doing so adds immediate value to the Empire of Stomaria, in that obviously there's a monthly contribution. It's £1 a month, so it's about as minimum a token gesture as we could ask for, but nevertheless having citizenship add value to the project, even if those citizens are inactive, they are still contributing financially towards the wider Stomarian community. And so that was always a big sticking point for us. Do they add value to the project? Do they add value to the community? And through Patreon, all citizens do. So that's how we recruit citizens now. But it also means that going forward, I was very conscious of the fact that as we grew and expanded, it would make having one-to-one interviews with everyone that was interested in becoming a citizen very time-consuming, and it just wouldn't be very efficient. So this way, it's a lot more straightforward, because I know that everyone that becomes a citizen is definitely going to add value to the community. I know that if there are people who prove themselves beyond simply just signing up as a citizen through our Patreon campaign, they will stand out, and then they will go on to become members of the Imperial Guard, governors of particular territory. They'll become ministers in the in the Imperial Court or whatever else. So the opportunity to progress within Stomaria, it's in its social hierarchy, if you like, is possible for all citizens, regardless of where they are in the world. There are obviously some restrictions. So, for example, if we have citizens we do have citizens in New Zealand or Mexico or the United States, having them sign up as members of the Imperial Guard might be slightly more complicated, because the Imperial Guard obviously is an institution within the Empire of Stomaria that's supposed to act primarily as stewards for public events, and those public events are likely to happen in the British Isles, so having them be members of the Imperial Guard elsewhere in the world might not be the most appropriate course of action to take. But we've not had that situation arise yet. We've not had those inquiries yet. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the point stands in that anyone can become a citizen of the Empire of Stomaria, and anyone has the opportunity to progress within the Empire of Stomaria. And I do want to make a video about this shortly, about what I would like to see in the future in terms of having the Empire of Stomaria get to a point where its support base, its citizen numbers, its revenue from YouTube ad revenue, from real world economic activities, from various other sources, gets to a point where we can start to hire people full time to become full-time Stomarian citizens, in the sense that they will become administrators or stewards or governors, but they will be paid for their services. And that's ideally where I would like to go with this. I would like to see Stomaria become, over time, more and more permanent and more fixed, in the sense that it will not just be purely a voluntary basis in which a lot of these citizens and a lot of these roles are. They will be paid responsibilities. And I think that's very important for us going forward, because it obviously provides a great incentive for citizens to get more heavily involved if there is a genuine return on the time that they commit to the project. Now, at the time, obviously, we can't afford to simply just pay everyone a full salary for the support that is shown to us. But as I say, I will make a video about this shortly, but that is something that is on my mind, and that's something that we will look to do shortly. But the reason I want to make this particular video is because Stomarian Citizenship, despite quite a large social media presence, is relatively small, comparatively speaking. Now, there's no direct link between social media following and citizenship, in the sense that there are micronations with very large citizenship numbers but very small presence on social media, and vice versa. And we sort of fit into that category, in that we have quite a large social media presence but very small citizenship. And that's something that I would like to try to address, because while we did, we have hit our milestones, we got to 5 citizens, then we got to 10 citizens, then we got to 15 citizens. We're very close to getting to 20 citizens, and that is something that I would ideally like to hit in the coming months, because it's not a case of just recruiting a citizen and then that's it. There has to be enough commitment from the citizens to maintain their pledge month on month. We have had 2 or 3 individuals who have joined Stomaria as citizens, and after a little while their pledges simply ceased. Some, it was just a case of card declining, so they had to just sort of reset that up. Others, we just never heard from again, they just fell by the wayside. And, this is to be expected going forward. And I think the issue that I've always had with micronations that sign up citizens because they fill in an online form, or they pay a one-time fee or something to that effect, and then they go, yep, you're a citizen now, and they just go into some sort of Excel spreadsheet or whatever else, and they go, yep, you are a citizen. But there's no way to gauge how interested they are in that micronation, in the sense that within the matter of a month, they might have forgotten entirely about it and never pay much attention to it ever again. They might have, passed away, or they might have joined another micronation or founded another micronation, and you wouldn't know. But because there's no regular communication as such, I think that can be quite disingenuous, in the sense that micronations that claim to have 10, 15, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 citizens, are they genuinely interested in that community that you're looking to build? And, micronations can obviously have their citizenship criteria however they want. But for us, it was always very important that we didn't just recruit citizens from social media, from interactions in the real world, and they became a citizen and then just left it at that. There was no method, there's no opportunity to sort of remove them from the position of citizen from a lack of interest or support in the community going forward. So that's why we have the Patreon campaign set up. It doesn't have to be Patreon, obviously, but it's the most obvious example, and a lot of Micronations do use this, because month on month they are making a pledge. They are renewing their support for the Stomarian community. And as I say, that's very important to us. But now that we're approaching 20 citizens, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to push it forward a little harder, because I know there's a lot of our supporters out there who are sort of sitting on the sidelines or not quite fully committed yet. Some of them might be watching this video, but I wanted to ram home the point that if you are a supporter of the Empire of Stomaria, if you do support what we're doing, if you're looking to get involved more heavily in what we're trying to achieve, then become a citizen. I mean, I can't really sell it more than that. The number of people involved in the Stomarian community, as it increases, it helps us to not just fund certain projects within Stomaria itself, but it also allows us to expand our network, our trade network, our community building operations. The more people we have, the more people we can identify in certain locations, in certain regions in the world, the more likely it is that we'll be able to establish more genuine real-world communities. And this is always very important to me, because a lot of Micronations, they're sort of born and they die on social media, on Reddit, on Twitter, on Discord, or whatever else. And you know, the last 2 weeks and you never hear from them again. We're looking to be a permanent fixture in the public consciousness. We are looking to establish ourselves as one of the more prominent, more well-known, and more real-world Micronations in the British Isles and eventually the world. This is no secret. This is what we aspire to do from the get-go, based on the values and objectives that we think are important, based on the criteria in which we believe a Micronation should adhere to. But we can't do that without a larger support base becoming active within Stomaria itself. And so, again, this is just a video to encourage those supporters of the Stomarian Empire and of the Micronations that form a part of Stomaria's empire to get involved. Don't sit on the sidelines. Don't sort of wait around for some spectacular statement to encourage you to get involved. Become a part of the community and make things happen. So, if you are interested in becoming a citizen of Stomaria, then please feel free to do so through our Patreon campaign, the link of which is in the description below, as always. You can also find the details of the other Micronations involved in Stomaria's empire in the description below as well. But otherwise, if you did enjoy that video, then please feel free to give it a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.